How are we going? So basically it's been a year since I've last picked up this camera. So today's video I am going to talk you through the wiring what I did on my van, and for the next few videos it will be my trips to Madeira and a few other things which happened well over a year ago now. I got a bit lackluster in filming for YouTube, so let's get back into it and I'll show you what I got on with the wiring for the van. So we finished off the boarding on this wall. I've just set up my electrics, and luckily enough where I want to place this is perfectly long enough from the temporary setup to set up to the battery under the seat. So this is the Renogy 50 amp unit what I use. That's now attached to the wall. I'm going to attach these two fuses at the bottom, rewire everything up to this. There's my second battery, do the two battery setup, and then I'm going to wire these. The two thicker ones are the solar panel, positive and negative. The other ones are for the two bed lights and this roof fan. And then yeah, we should get everything tested by this point tomorrow. Got these batteries set up pretty much exactly where I want them to be. They're not too far away from the wall, gives them a bit of breathing space. But with these batteries, what I did breed is to lift them off the floor. So what I'm going to do is create a battery box, just a couple of lamps, 3 lamps on the bottom, a piece in the middle, 2 either side, 2 bracings on the front just to secure it down. Then that'll get drilled into the floor. What I've done for the battery box is just create these simple angled pieces for the back and the front. Cut another piece which is going to sit in the middle, and then I'm going to cut 2 lamps and then fix these all together, and then that should 3 lamps, sorry, there's one for the middle. One of the hardest things you can do when you're doing these wires is crimping them yourself, because trying to get this into these little holders and then pushing this thing, I don't know what the name of it is, crimper I'm going to call it, it's quite difficult by yourself. So you place this on, as you see, it's loose, it's a bit deeper than what I'd like actually on that. But then we get these. And then now these are done, put the heat shrink on, use the heat gun, tie that down, and that should be all good. I just need to do the other side, and then that will connect both of these together. So we'll go, the positive there goes onto there, then we'll loop this positive here, what I did earlier, over here, and then this negative here, what I did at the back. The heat gun going, so I'm just going to put these on, run it to about 240 degrees, and then you literally just tighten them down. So now that's both the positive and negatives done, what I'll do is connect them to these batteries and then I'll show you what that looks like. I think I mentioned in the last video what these batteries are, but I have 2 115 amp hour sealed lead acid batteries. So I've got 230 amp hours of batteries here. These are from a company called Wired Campers. It's pretty good. They came fast delivery. I don't think they're that far from where I live actually. They're from somewhere in Sheffield, so it's not too far, but it came quick delivery, which is always a good thing. Now what I am doing is swapping this blade fuse box out, because I realised the other day when I was testing the roof vent that these 6 you can't push a blade of fuse in for some reason. So obviously that's no good to me, because I've got about 8 different things what are going to be all plugged into here. The guide I am following is this one. That one is from Greg Virgo, who's on here. He does a lot of things campervan related. I've followed most of his stuff for pretty much all of my conversion, and I'm happy with how everything's turned out. So if you want to check out that channel if you're doing your own, then go check it out, it's helped me a lot. So I've got all these main wires wired up for the batteries, as you can tell here. the lights are on to say that there's charge coming from the batteries. What I've done is strip these. I'm just going to touch them on here and then see if that reading light will turn on. My mum will turn it on. Yeah. Oh, wrong one. Wait. Yeah. On. Turn it off. Lovely jubbly. Right, so tonight's job is to set up my solar isolator. I have already drilled one of these out on top, but basically they have these M20 caps on the bottom, and how you set these up from the videos I've watched is I will connect this opposite side to this side, but I'll show you the internals once I get this off. But to begin with, I drill these out, so I'm just using the step drill that I bought the other day, and then you basically just try and get it in the middle. So on these switches you will have numbers across here. This goes 1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8. And the way these are set out is your two largest ones here, which is 7 and 8, are in line. So you connect a wire through in 7, run it out of 8, and that will make your circuit complete. If you run it in 7 and 4, it's a broken circuit, it will not work. So you just have to run them to largest to smallest on these. If you see the block, 1 second. So on here you have largest to smallest. So all these what are across, so 1 and 2 are opposites. They'll go 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then that's how you connect one of these up. So for me, I'm going 7 to 8, running it through, and then that will complete the circuit for the solar on the positive. Now with my Renogy kit, I did get these connectors in with the package. So these sit on your positive and negatives on your solar, and then you connect an MC4 connector to the solar wire that I'm running through, and that will complete these. So I'm just going to connect these on to the 50 amp unit. As you can see now, you've got the positive with the MC4 connector on, negative with the MC4 connector. I do have the negative here, which it runs to the van battery. The positive for the van battery still needs to be connected. That'll be the last thing I do once the whole system's up. These are the wires for the solar, so I've masking taped the positive up just so I know which one it is, and left the negative without any tape. Now I'm going to cut these to size and put the MC4 connectors, which are here, on. So I'll show you how to do that. What I have done is open the packet for what you need. What you do get in is a male and female connector MC4, and you also get a male and female prong. Female's a wider hole, the male is the thinner one. Obviously one goes inside the other once they're connected in. So what I've done is squash down the MC4 connector. I don't know if you can see that. Squished it on, it's nice and connected on. Now what you do is you have these back glands, like what you do with most things. The male one and the female one have a rubber connector inside of here. So if you see that, there's like a grey. Now this sits over this, it's like a weatherproof connector. Push it down as far as it will go, and then you basically tighten that on as tight as it can go. I do it hand tight for now, but I do have these which I bought from Amazon, which are solar connector spanners. So as you can see, that sits into there, and then I've got another one which will sit on the outside, and then we can tighten that together and then it's proper tight. Right, so we'll do a little tester. So now this is connected on and fully properly onto the thing, not coming off. What I'll do is I'll push it in to this one. Just push it down. So what we'll do, connect these together, push that in, and then that is the positive wire ready to be set up. What I've done is leave this end like that, because that's going to be stripped and put into the bottom of here. Same for the top, that'll connect into there, and then that'll be the positive set for the solar, then just rinse and repeat for the negative side. So now this is all connected. As I said earlier, I've gone 8 and 7, so I've connected the other side, which is going to connect to the 50 amp unit here, into 8. It's all nice and tight in, connectors on. Now I'll do the top bit and then I'll attach it to the wall and show you exactly what everything else in the setup's going to look like. Basically for the negative, it is a case of just stripping a wire and putting an MC4 connector on, because it's going straight onto the negative. This is just a on and off switch in case I want to do any work on the solar in the future. Right, so that's now both of those connected up. I've connected the negative already. I'm just about to connect the positive together, and then I need to get on the roof, connect them and turn this switch on. When I put the front on, front is here, obviously in the off position for now. Then we'll press on, and what should happen is we should get a slow flashing light from this bit here. That's for the alternator, what's not connected yet, and we should get a slow flashing light from this one, which is the solar. Been on the roof, connected the 2 connections in on the solar panels. I'll flip this, that should go, that should start flashing slowly red. So we'll give it a try. Nothing. Right, so it turns out when I fitted these MC4 connectors, I put some of them in wrong. I didn't push the larger female ones through enough to get a connection. That's why it didn't turn on, but as you can see, this morning, after I sorted it out and put it on, the sun is directly on the panels on this side of the van. So, last night when I was doing it, it come up red. And that was because the sun wasn't here, basically, and I thought that I wired it up wrong, but no, come out this morning and tried it, and that is charging. So the plan now is to set these wires up onto the fuse board. So I have taped these together. As you see, that says right bed light, so obviously that is the far one. Then left bed light, then we've got the roof vent, and then the fridge. So this thing here, this is a 40, I think it's a 45 litre Alpco. It was quite expensive, it was about 280 quid. If you've never seen one of these fuse boards before, these ones along here and along here are your positives, these along the top are your negatives. So it is quite simply, for me, red wire, black wire. So red wire to there, black wire to the top. So as you can see, that is the first one wired up. So what I'll do is, I'll just quickly set it to one side and then show you that this one's working. Obviously I already showed you before that when I tested it, it works. So just 1 second. So I am quite far away. I'm just going to use a screwdriver, push that on, that's on. These do have a dimming feature as well, so if you hold it down it does dim the light, or in this case make it brighter. Press that and we're off. Second light wired up now. Excuse me, I burped then. So we'll see. Flip the fuse down. See if this one works. Ta-da! Third one wired up now. This fourth one here is be for the fridge, but that is a 12 volt connector. What I'm gonna have to build the frame for the seat first, so I'll have to figure that out. I do need to put this bit also at the bottom here did sit under here. It's like my garage stopper board, so that'll be my next job now that all these 12 volts are done. But we've just wired this up, so I remember which one it is. Is this one? And that is opening up. So that's opened up fully. Up to 4. And that's bringing in quite a bit of wind. quite nice because at the minute here in the UK it is about 29 degrees and it is 6 o'clock at night, and as you can tell from my face I'm pretty hot from these. Look at this sweat, disgusting, but we're getting jobs done. At least with the good weather I can actually do work on the van, which is also a good thing. But yeah, that's all works. Now we'll just shut it down. I always give it, because of the curvature of the van, when this shuts, that's shut now, but I always give it that extra little bit just so it does actually sit fully. But yeah, all working. Happy with how that's gone. Like I say, I'm just going to try and build this unit and figure it out now. So what I have done is re-alter this bed frame. So as you can see, that'll sit there, and then I'm going to reorder some more 9mm ply to sit at the front, so that'll curve into this gap here and give it that, and then I'm going to edge it all the way around with some 20x20 edge, I think. Still need to redo this piece because I'm not happy with that, but that can be another job for when I come back from the weekend. And I might redo this piece because I'm not too happy with this fitment here. I feel like it's too much of a gap to be able to fill it or silicone it or whatever. But now what I'm going to do is I know my measurement from here. It's 540 high from the floor. That'll take me to about here, to be just about right for a seat. I'm 6'2", so it'll be just about perfect. And then I'm going to run that all the way across. This empty space here is going to be my diesel heater, and then my fridge. So I will actually show you me doing some actual work on this bit, because I've just realised that I'm showing you bits but not really showing you exactly what I'm doing. So it might make it look like I'm not actually doing the work, but I am. So I'll show you how I'm going to make this next bit. Right, so I'm going to get some 3x2, which is exactly the same stuff as what's used here. I need it 1555 by 540 high. So obviously they're 2" by 3". I can't even do the math on that. My brain's gone, it's too hot. As you see, look how red my face is. It's red hot in here. I don't know where my... There you go. A carbon monoxide detector. Like it says it's 27 degrees and 39% humidity. I don't know if you can see that. So it's hot. It is hot, mate. So I'm going to figure this out and then I'll show you my working. I did say I'd show you doing some work and I forgot, but I have put these together. So this is the bottom bit, which is going to sit along the bottom here, the middle bit through there, 2 edges, and fix down. What I have done is forget that these bits on the transit stick out further. So what I have done, marked it up here, and now I'm just going to run router out at that depth. I'll set it on there and then I'll quickly run it through and then get it all back into the van. Hopefully then everything will be set, and then I can screw it to the floor, screw it to the running braces which are running across, and then that is the back of the bottom seat all ready and in. Right, so as you can see, this bit's in now. If I hold that back to where it's going to be, you see the recess, what I've done sits around there. These sit flush, and then I've got the other bits of 3x2 to sit on top, which should take me roughly level to this gap, to be fair, which the ones on the other side are going to be the same. It's going to cover up the bottom bit there, which I am happy about because I didn't really want them on show. So now what I'll do is put the top bit on, screw these down, I need to drill some holes at this point on it, screw this in, then that can go fix against the back, and then I can refit. I've had to undo all my electrics to get this bit underneath. So last night's job, I was going to build a bench here, and I started doing it because I ended up doing it quite late. My cousin came round, who was a plant fitter slash mechanic, and we fitted the ignition wire, which you can see, which is that one there. So now all this is properly setting up, so while the engine's off, it swaps and changes between the solar and the car battery, and it also charges the van battery as well and takes power from them, I believe. I could be wrong. I've had this switched on overnight. There's been no fire, which is obviously a fantastic thing. So today what I'm doing is building this bench this morning. I am away this afternoon, so this will be my first outing in 2 months in the van. But yeah, so I'm building the bench, and I'm building somewhere for the fridge to sit in there and not move around while I'm driving. So I've mocked up the side frame, which is going on that side there. I've put some screws in here because these are going to go into these ends, and then I'm pocket screwing 2 on the inside, maybe 1 on the outside as well, just to give it that extra bit of strength. So I've got quite a few pocket screws left over somewhere in here. Everything's a mess at the minute. But somewhere in here I've got some of these pocket screws that I use, some 30mm ones, so I'll drive probably 3 of them in, then everything should be strength. I haven't got enough wood to finish this side where the fridge is going properly, but I do have enough to secure it into place for tonight's trip, so I'll show you. So this is the basis of the seat. What I have done is make this longer than what it needs to be, but I've got lucky because the bit where I said I haven't got enough wood, now if I cut that I actually might have enough wood. So I've got 2 of these long pieces which need cutting down now, and I've got this short one remaining, plus these which make up that edge. So I might actually be able to finish it today. So as you can see, I've got this piece in, it's connected to the back there. I'm going to connect some points into the floor now, so then it's fixed for when I go travel away this weekend. I'm not going travelling that far, to be fair, I'm only going to Lincolnshire. But I'm going to add a small board down there to run my wires through for my 12-volt connection for my fridge. Fridge is going to go inside now and get cool before I go. I've got some 9mm ply on the back, a cut off, so I'm going to cut that to these lengths just to give me somewhere to sit on, see what it's actually like. It does look a bit too deep, but with where the batteries are, it's best I can do. I might end up having to put some sort of slope on it in a way, just so it gives you like a backrest, but that's for future me to figure out. Turns out the seat is pretty good actually, plenty of leg room and where I need to be. I've just whacked this bit of ply on top for now, but gives me somewhere to sit for later on as well. If I want to sit inside, or if I want to sit outside, I don't have to sit on it, but just in case I do. Pretty comfy. Pretty pleased with myself actually. So I've just arrived at my park up for the night. The first time I've been out in 3 months, and I can't tell you how happy it has actually made me to drive here, to be honest. It's been a long 3 months trying to get it to a stage where I can actually use it. I've already got one issue though, and that is I can't close the sliding door when I've got my heat shield on. So I'm going to have to buy a handle for up there so I can close the door easier. But this is why we do what we do, because now it's small teething problems that I can sort out, see what works while it's not properly finished, and then I can make alterations if I need to. But I am parked right next to the beach. There's a lot of people here, a lot more than what I thought, but this is my view from bed. I mean, you can't really beat that, can you? 4-3 as well. After 5 PM you don't pay till 10 AM. I'll be long gone by 10 AM. I also later on I'm going to try a frying pan pizza. I've never done it before, so we'll give that a quick go on the gas hob. Got the frying pan down there. Got the pre-made pizza dough. I'm having feta and red pepper. Sounds alright, doesn't it? Saw it on the internet. I have forgot my tomato puree though, so not that good of a chef. But I do have some sun-dried tomatoes, which I feel like may make it up. Use it as a base. Maybe just add the full block of feta, or who knows. I also have a second issue. When I close this door, my handle gets jammed on my trim piece. So I'm going to have to cut that and make a router mark in it, so the handle fits in. Otherwise I thought I was actually stuck in the van. Although obviously I can get out the back doors, but I literally thought I was about to be stuck in the van. It took me about 2.5 hours to get here. It's on the Lincolnshire coast, this. It's not a bad little spot, to be fair. See how I sleep tonight, probably very well. So I'll just pour myself a coffee. I'm just going to sit here for a bit, enjoy the view, relax, and like I say, make some food. And then possibly have a fire. There is a few fires going off now, and there's some coals right outside the back of my van where people's had them before. I was a bit wary just in case, because a lot of places don't like to have them. But I've made the pizza, made the fire, and then just relax for the night, I reckon. Cheers then. A little bit early, it's 7 o'clock, but I've been awake since about 5, and I went for a 5k this morning, so I'm pretty tired. So I'm going to start preparing my frying pan pizza. So first step is to dice these. Might end up using a bit more because the frying pan I've got is pretty big. This is a hunting knife my dad got me for Christmas. Pretty cool. It's about 4-inch blade. It does have a flint in it, but it falls out a lot, and I'm not quite sure where that is. It's got like a little strike pose as well for like wildfires. It's a pretty cool knife. I do not have a chopping board yet. This is actually the chopping board space, so it's technically doing the job it's designed for. So that's all my red peppers chopped. Now this is my collapsible pans. These are from Amazon. Kitchen Academy. Pretty good. 58 quid I think it was. Decent size. You get 2 and you get a saucepan, which is pretty nifty. Plus this removable handle. So obviously when you're moving about in such a small space you don't want to knock it off. So it's pretty cool. Feel like I need more kitchen space. Chop that. So I might have to design something what sits over here, just so I've got that extra bit of space. Might just have like a little pop-up thing on the side, on this side, just so I can chop. But like I said earlier, teething problems. We've done the main bulk of things, that's the big thing. And my solar and my electrics haven't set on fire. They've been on for a few days, just running, doing exactly what they're supposed to do. So obviously I'm glad about that. The last thing I want is to spend thousands of pounds and then my van set on fire. Basically put this in, and then I'm going to seal it with kitchen foil, create an oven, and see how well it works. This says it takes about 15 to 25 minutes to bake. So I've got that. I need to crumble some feta, and then yeah, get cracking, because I am getting pretty hungry now. Because this is a 12-volt setup van, the wires to this, which usually ignites it, is just tucked underneath. So obviously I'll turn my gas off every time. So we'll just turn that on, as you just did. So that's lit and going. I might have to shut the door because there's some wind coming through. Yeah, so I shut the door and now chefing. The flame is on. Don't know if you can see. There we are, look. There we are, sports fans. It's like a proper way to get this off, mate, because it's hard. I'm burning my hands. Proper stuck to the paper. Panicking. It's browning, but it looks more like a naan bread. So we'll see about the final result. I do have extra in case I do want another one later on. So, well, at the minute it looks like a pancake / naan bread. So we'll see how that goes. I've created some sort of lid, but I've also bit my fingers while doing it. It's not going well. Let's just hope the end product is something worth talking about. So far, I think that looks like a fail. It's just going to be sun-dried tomatoes, red pepper and feta bread. It's not really pizza. So we're going to try another one later, because I've got pizza dough left, so I might as well make another. Now I've added the sun-dried tomatoes, it looks a tiny bit better, but not the best. But I'm going to give it a taste test. The setup's pretty clean. You can't complain. Pizza, maybe a pizza, chair, and a good view. I mean, it looked a lot worse than what it is. It's like a more of a tear bread, but it's actually quite nice. It's come out right, so definitely going to make another one. Turns out it didn't taste that bad, so I'm definitely going to make another one. It is, I don't know if you see, it's 7:45 now, so by the time I finish my little drink and then come back out, probably be late enough to have a little fire going off, so I might set that up actually before I go back inside and cook again. And it will be off the floor. I'm not burning the floor. I've got a pit, and anyone who does burn the floor, be an arsehole. Right, so what I'm going to do for this one is use my smaller burner and create less heat, and I'm going to slowly bake one side of the pizza base and then flip it over, put the doughier side down, and then put my toppings on top of the one that's slightly baked already, and then we'll see how that one turns out. The last one wasn't bad, and I'm not making it up. I will actually just eat food because I love food, but I'm not making it up. I did burn the bottom one, made it a little bit too crunchy, just a little bit, but it was actually alright. Handy tip, now I don't drink anymore, so I've got 0%, but if you forget your bottle opener like me, what you can do is your retractable handle. I've just spilled that everywhere, but that's the least of my worries. Off, can enjoy my drink. Little tip for you. This is pretty much going to be me for now. I've got some Gouda and chorizo relitos. I'm just going to relax, probably watch a film, and chill with this. So, it's the first thing in the morning. It's currently 6:10. I've been awake for about an hour now. I haven't opened the doors yet. Here's my bed lights working. That's quite a lot of lighting actually. I'm just about to make a coffee, which you can't see. There we go. So I'm just about to make a coffee. And yeah, just gonna chill I think. Open the doors. Does sound a bit windy. Did have thunderstorms last night. I'll add that in, which was pretty cool, so I was awake for about an hour. But yeah, I think we're just gonna chill. Got these little pot things for breakfast. They are mango granola pots, and I've got a strawberry one. So I'm gonna get into them, relax. Me and my friends about 10 o'clock, so yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this one. I mean, bright. I've woke up in worse places for a morning coffee. That's pretty cool, yeah. I mean, you can't beat that for free, can you? But I think this might be where I leave this video. Don't think I'll get much from today. Obviously, like I said, everyone's got kids, so don't really want to be recording them, and I just want to enjoy some time with my friends. So I'll catch you another one on another adventure. Now flow's pretty much nearly done.